Welcome to the YouTube edition of episode 69 of the Functional Sportsaholic. Once again, please subscribe to our actual podcast, the full-length feature. I have the link in the episode notes below. Please also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us, comment, we'll be interactive. In this particular clip, we are talking about Netflix, the Netflix show Last Chance U. I just came upon it. Sam had been watching it for quite a while, and we discuss. There is one little spoiler in season 3, but it's not a big deal. So if you don't care, keep it going. So speaking of, I'll turn it over to this. Speaking of college football, so I started watching on Netflix, Sam. I know you like Hard Knocks. We talk about it. And we'll be talking about episode 5 this week. I came across another show. It had been out there for a while, but I just started watching. I think I was talking about it on the Get Paid podcast, but it's Last Chance U. Have I talked to you about this at all?
Oh, man, I've seen every episode, every season.
Oh, my gosh, that is so good. So I just got past the second season. So it was that, was it Eastern Mississippi?
Mississippi, yeah.
That dude, that Buddy Stevens head coach, man, what a piece of work that guy is.
Wait until you get to the next.
No, I mean, so I'm getting
to the next. Yeah,
I got to the third season. I watched the first episode. I like this guy, the dude from Compton, the white guy from Compton.
Yeah.
That? Do they follow them for multiple seasons?
Yeah, 2 seasons, and then he gets fired. Yeah.
Good. I can't wait. Can't wait to see that. But the dude, I liked him in the first episode. I guess things are going to go sour, but.
Oh no, I mean I like him too. Yeah, you'll see. I don't want to. Don't spoil anything for you, But it's man. I love that. I love that show.
Man, so I love that show. Buddy Stevens. Look, I don't have any problem with with coaches kind of going nuts, but he is the perfect example of one of the head coaches that you can't even. Not only can you not question the guy, I don't know how fresh this is in your mind since you've been on this for a lot longer than I have, but not only can you not question him, but you have to answer the way he wants you to answer so as to prove that you're not questioning him, or he will flip out. The end of season 2, when he tried to kick his offensive coordinator off the sideline for saying he was saying yes sir, but I guess he smirked when he said it or something like that. I don't know what happened, but that dude is a loose cannon, and I can tell. Like I bet you that Last Chance U wanted to stay with them. But I think Buddy Stevens just like, oh man, my image is going way down south, because he started that second season like, oh, I want to change, I want to do this, I want to do that. And by the end of the second season, he was worse than the end of the first season.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he got fired too.
He didn't. Well, I mean, he might have recently, but at the end of the second season, he had been retained, and all of the other coaches left basically.
Yeah, I mean, JUCO ball is a tough world.
Oh, yeah.
And I get it. A lot of these coaches have to kind of be hard asses and, be a different breed, because they're getting a different kind of player. A lot of these guys, I think it's interesting to see these guys that have come from like these big Division I programs, and then they're in, BFE, Mississippi. Right. And you're not on chartered flights. You're not, getting the weight room doesn't look like it's, a $60 million complex, and you're in like somebody's garage basically.
Yeah, guys they're attaching barbells to like water bottles to do their curls,
Yeah, and you can tell, they've all been kicked out of their places or whatever, but they just continue to wear the gear from where they were kicked out.
Yeah, I noticed that
it's
too.
Like they got 45 t-shirts and 45 pairs of shorts and 20 jumpsuits and all that stuff that comes with being a high D1 program, a Florida State or whatever, a Michigan, as you'll see in the, in the second installment.
Yeah, right.
These guys coming from these big schools, and then they're in, this place where they're taking buses everywhere, and it's a total different, they're not getting that gourmet
the food,
stopping in wherever they want, to eat and all that stuff. It's a different world. But I like second chance stories, and that's what kind of drew me to that show, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about while you were talking about that, there was a spot again because it's fresher in season 2, because I just watched it. I think 2 or 3 days ago I finished it up. But one of the guys, I think he gotten kicked off the team because he was involved in like an armed robbery or something like that. Like he was an accessory or something like that, and. the guy got kicked off the team. I think he was an ex-Texas Tech, and he ended up back on Texas Tech after a year down there. Well, he was just talking about like, I get. He's like, Louisville, like you were saying. He's like, all your meals are planned out for you, and then you get a stipend check, so you get like $800 of just cash just sitting in your account as part of your scholarship. And
right.
Again, this, not to confuse the topic, I don't really want to talk too long about it, but people talk about, college athletes need to be paid and all that stuff. Well, the top college athletes are getting some money. Now, are they getting enough? Like, the quarterback, let's just say Tim Tebow from way back in the day, obviously UF selling a lot of Tim Tebow jerseys. Is he getting a cut of that? No. People think he should. I'm kind of on the fence on that. Maybe we'll do an installment on that next week. I don't want to get too far down that rabbit hole, but a lot of these division athletes, they are getting, first of all, free tuition if they are taking advantage of the education. Some of them aren't, unfortunately, but if they are taking advantage of the education, that is worth a lot. You can see over the life expectancy, right, what an education is worth to somebody's career versus not. So if you take that seriously, that's pretty good. And now, because colleges, and again, this is another political topic, but colleges are just way so freaking expensive that, like, over the course of 4 years, you are kind of netting $50,000 a year in tuition and and housing costs, plus a little stipend. I mean, it's actually not too bad because of the awful escalation of costs. But anyway, but yeah, seeing these guys kind of go down there, and what's crazy to me is some of these guys, it's kind of painful to watch. I think Sam, as a father, you can relate to this. It's kind of painful to watch these young guys struggle with learning the lesson. It's like, dude, like, you had your opportunity and you blew it. You need to get a second opportunity here. And a lot of these guys, they're in JUCO, and their pride is so high that they don't even want to, work like they should be working to fulfill their potential. It's crazy.
Yeah, and one of the guys on the first season, the one, the East Mississippi, that Ronald Ollie guy, he was on Hard Knocks with the Raiders, and, he ended up getting cut and all that. But,
in fact, Sam, that's actually how I found out about the show. Is I saw that on the first episode of Hard Knocks. I was like, that would be interesting. Let me go watch that. And that's exactly why I started watching. So, yeah.
It's a great show, and it's good to see, and a lot of the stuff, they don't even showcase a lot of the players that were on the team. They pick a good 5 to 7 players that they really kind of focus on. But a ton of these guys, even on the practice squad, get signed to D1 because they're going against such top-notch, talent every day that, I think every guy on that Jason Brown, the second season, every guy on the team pretty much went D1.
Wow.
And they have some really top players that they just didn't focus on because obviously, it's a show. You need to sell. You got to have highlights and stuff like that, and you can't focus on, 25 players, and they usually get the guys with a little bit more baggage and stuff like
and they're also with college football and in college sports in general, you would only get so much time with the team anyway. So it's not like NFL Hard Knocks where people are on, at the headquarters all day and they're in it's different with Dorm. They have to study, they have to do all this stuff. That's why I think why they included the that counselor lady who left the school after a while, and I mean, it's definitely interesting show. So I super recommended. As Sam and I talk about Netflix quite a bit on this show. So, by the way, that I guess that's a good segue. Sam and I were talking. Although I don't think we talked at length at this, so I think you're good with this, though. We're kind of slanting the show a little bit more towards NBA and a little bit more towards pop culture, and then we might split out some of the pop culture stuff, but we'll still try to loop it back to sports like we just did. But you're good with that, aren't you, buddy? If you're not, I guess now is the place. Now we can fight about it.
No, man. No, you know me. We're very aligned in the same things that we're interested in. So.
I know. Yeah, I know. What did we just talk about? Like 10 minutes on Hard Knocks, or not? Last Chance U on Netflix. So there you go.
Right.
Okay, and that was the edition of episode 69. One of the clips of the show, Last Chance U. We also talk about Hard Knocks in the next segment, so keep an eye out for that video. Once again, subscribe to our podcast from the show notes below. Subscribe to this channel. Like us, comment. We will be interactive. The Functional Sportsaholic signing off.